Welcome to Isn't It Obvious, where things are obvious. That's going to be the intro.
That's going to be the intro forever now.
Right.
Ah, the glories of StarCraft. The anti-military propaganda that's
Stardew
absolutely
Valley?
military
Stardew
propaganda.
Valley? Is that what we're
No,
talking
this is my
about?
bit. This is
Because
my
if
bit,
we're talking
Sarah.
about
Do
Stardew
not get on my
Valley,
bit, Sarah.
I just
How dare
want
you
to
get onto my
say-
bit.
I just want to say,
Also, StarCraft 2 sucks. They made it too macro-based and changed my mind.
I never got to say what I wanted to say. All right, well, whatever. Welcome to Isn't It Obvious?
You can say it now. You could.
No, you know what? It's too late. Time has passed. It's over. I just have to learn to move on.
My railroading is effervescent.
It's fine. It's just, life. I'm your host this week, this session, this episode, Sera, and joining me, like usual, is Micah and Phil.
Hello.
Yeah, and today's topic is a very personal, near and dear to my heart matter, and frustrating me for weeks. Isn't it obvious that when you need help moving your shit to a new house,
I know this is coming.
you fucking feed the people who come and help you for free? Just saying. Seems pretty obvious, right?
Is it specifically feeding, or is it just an assumed compensation for effort invested?
Well,
Whether or not that's food, it could be beer, it could be
I
drinks,
mean-
it could be money.
okay, assuming your crew of friends and family shows up in the morning, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, around 9 a.m., you should probably have some coffee on the table and maybe some bagels or donuts or something, or, just for people to chomp on to get their energy up. So, because they're going to be moving your heavy shit. So, coffee, minimum, and maybe some donuts. Very cheap, easy. Okay, you're moving shit. You're working all day long. You're working real hard. You're not getting paid for this. You're doing this out of the goodness of your heart. But you're also working hard. Comes 12:30, and you're like, okay, well, I'm hungry. Are we going to break for lunch? And it turns out the people whose shit you're moving are like, well, I guess, but we didn't have any plans for lunch. And you're just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Alright, so this is
Like,
moving from one domicile to another,
God.
not just like, hey, can you help me move a couch up to my
correct. This is all of the shit in one house and moving all of that shit into a new house.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
You should feed...
There has to be a compensation of some sort on your end as the movee.
Yeah, because
to
like
the
moving
movers.
a couch is not a big deal. That doesn't take all day. If you
that's
are,
a solid, favor builder. Like, hey,
Sure.
I moved that couch for you last time, you can do this for
yeah,
me
you can
now,
help me
kinda.
move this table or
Yeah.
this whatever later.
That's a scratching back, I scratch
That's-
your back, you scratch
yes.
my back type thing.
Yeah, but moving your
But
entire...
you move all my shit.
That's it for just hire movers, all right? Just hire movers. If you aren't going to feed the people who are helping you for 5, 6, 7 hours, you kind of you gotta eat, right? Like, you can't just do all of this without any energy.
Okay, I've been quiet for a while. I saw
Okay,
this one
sorry.
coming because
See my rage.
I also do not feed the crew. I do now because I married the editor,
Phil.
and the editor taught me manners to be like a decent human being.
Yeah.
But
Because she knows what's
right,
what.
that has the wherewithal to
She will not
understand
let you live in ignorance.
basic human decency. But before then,
Good to get morals at some point.
I was very, it just never occurred to me. And I did ask family and friends to help me move. And I just never offered them to even have lunch on me, even if it's just terrible Domino's pizza.
It doesn't matter what it is. It can be the cheapest garbage shit. It just needs to feed people. You can't expect people to work for 5 hours over a mealtime and not eat.
Okay, I was thinking about why I did this in the past, and it was mainly when I was a broke college kid. I just didn't have.
Maybe you just didn't have.
I just didn't have the cash. That's not true. I did have the cash, but it never occurred to me hey, I should actually be an honorable person and actually feed the people that are helping me do this thing. Because I didn't. When I had to go from one dorm back, I think that was the last time I had. I'm like, this is kind of weird, but I'm still relying on the goodwill of my patrons, so to speak, to be able to support myself in college. And so it
Thanks, Mom.
felt weird. And again, that's just weird in general because most people would not do that. They would just get loans or work on a scholarship or have a job. So when I helped my friends move in that same type of college environment, they too didn't offer any food because we're all just broke kids.
I think
That's different.
Well, and it's different because it's a college, it's a dorm.
Yeah, no.
That's like one room.
It's not different though because a kid that's...
It's not even your bed. It's just your sheets, your clothes, and your books.
But
No. So regardless
And a
the
lamp.
amount of what is moving, when you're in your early 20s, that type of what you're expecting in return is that they will help you move in turn.
Yeah, but you should
kind of thing, because you are doing a lot of moving at that time.
Yep.
So you move out of the dorm first into an apartment, you get your buddies to help you. There is the slight expectation that you will help your buddies move out of that same
Right.
Well, and let's be honest, that's not going to take all day. It's not. You don't have enough stuff yet.
Yeah, that's...
It's still a good 4 hours.
It's half a day.
It's still
and
the
we never...
day. You're ruining a Saturday to help a buddy.
Right, and we didn't, back then, Saturdays were great because, you had knees that were functional. No,
Oh, God,
Back in the day.
glory days.
No, the idea was that even then, I didn't offer to even give them a can of Coke because, oh, well, I'm just a broke kid. What am I going to afford? Like, everyone's broke as hell. That's not true. I should have been able to do that, but I never had this common sense to do it. But that kind of, fundamentals of bad habit just build on itself. Because my friend wouldn't return the favor because he could be like, well, fuck you, but I still need your help to move my stuff. So then when you come here, I'm not going to feed you. And I guess that's the norm. So when I need to move again, I'm going to ask you to help, and then blah, blah, blah. Until you hit 19 or 20, you should have some basic fucking common sense. The idea that you're just a kid, that's bullshit. You're an adult now. Just fucking own up to it.
But you're forgetting the context. This is America. You're a kid until you're 40.
You're a kid until you're 25 or whenever you're not allowed to be at
25.
26.
It doesn't stop you from being a kid
all the way up to
You're
26, yeah. But the idea oh, well, he's just a kid is no, he's not just a kid. If you're 20, you should act like that you are independent and adult, even if that's not always the case. You shouldn't be acting like a child anymore. You should have some agency in your freaking life, for God's sake. I feel bad because I didn't. Even though I had probably the money to buy a Halo 3 or whatever, I wouldn't spend that money to help my friends help me move. That doesn't make sense. So I think that mentality of oh, well, we're just broke kids, that kind of stuck with me up until late 20s, and then I didn't realize until I was helping our friends move from their townhouse to their house that our board game host actually gave us pizza. And then I was like, oh, editor, this is what people do. And she's like, yeah, you didn't realize that? And I was like, oh, that's what you do. When we need help moving, that's why you always have food out. And she's like, you're a moron.
Yeah, because you can't expect people to work all day moving your shit for free-ish to do this without having food. You gotta feed these
I think people should have called them out, called me out much sooner.
Well, yeah, that's what you gotta do.
But much sooner than the date. He's the people who are this ignorant, no one's ever been polite enough to say you have spinach in your teeth. No one's ever said, hey, look, by the way, when you ask people to move all day, have you noticed that they're pretty fucking hungry? And when you help other people move, that, if they're adults that have their shit together, that they actually have food out. These are just basic fucking things you do as a human being. And the guy should have a light bulb that's oh yeah, I actually have money now that I can easily afford basic
pizza,
bagels and coffee and food and lunch
or something.
But they've been operating under the pretenses oh, I'm just a 20-year-old kid that doesn't have money and that's why I'm so frugal,
which is hilarious because
that's also not true.
No, you just bought a house,
right?
You have money.
No, it's
well, you might not as much, but
the tier system.
You can afford to buy a house. You should be able to afford to.
Right, but the mentality hasn't increased. That's the problem. It's the people's money capacity may have increased to buy a house, which congratulations to him because that's not an easy. Well, you didn't really buy a house; you bought a mortgage, so you just bought debt.
Yeah, let's be honest. You paid the bank.
Really,
to hold
the bank really owns your house
in a certain fruit and geographic area.
Yep.
The philosophy or mentality or maturity of the person themselves hasn't grown with the times. At the time of his last move from his dorm to his apartment or apartment to another apartment or condo, that's when people should have been like, hey man, why are you acting like a dick? That's when they should say, hey, where's the food? Just bluntly say it.
I feel on the obverse of that is there was a lot of times in my early 20s where I helped a lot of people move just because I'm a fucking mule. If you put shit in my hands, I'll carry it from a place. It doesn't matter. I'm fine with that. But one time I was helping one of my brother's friends move out of a place, and there was a lot of drama around the situation that I knew nothing about. But I'm like, somebody needs to move. I'm like, yeah, I got a free afternoon. Let's go move some shit. And I didn't expect any payment for that, and they offered me Coors beer. I'm like, what? I can just drink you bought. I can drink this. I'll move your shit anyway. Yeah. But you're gonna give me some beer too? Bonus.
I do think there's a lot of good people like you, Micah, that just don't expect anything either. They're like, yeah, I can fucking move stuff, whatever.
Well, you guys might be that generous, giving heart, but okay.
No, it's not a generous giving heart. I'm just a dumb pack animal.
Well, here's my big issue with what went down with my brother's move, and this was what sparked this. Isn't it
also
obvious
familial
episode.
Moving? I think has a different connotation irritation.
A little.
But it's more on both ends.
Well, wait,
Yes.
Like, asking your family to move is kind of like,
that's
you
normal.
guys will help me move, right?
Yeah.
But also, you should be like, I'm going to take care of my family because they're helping me move.
Yeah, I have to say, when I helped my brother move, and it used to be every 2 years, he would always give me food. He'd either take me out, give me a beer, get good pizza. Like, he would always do the nice things. So,
Like, you're doing a favor for your family.
Right.
You kind of, buy him a beer, buy him something to eat, whatever. But my main issue partly was the just not having a plan for lunch. 12:30 rolls around. I'm like, hey, are we eating?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, my future wife or whatever, and I need to go pick up we need to go pick up our internet at 1. And I'm like, that didn't answer my question.
You're also going to pick up food then, right?
Yeah, I'm just like,
that's what
okay,
you're going to
well,
do. You're going to go to get your internet stuff, and then you're going to get some to-go stuff.
I'm fucking hungry, all right? I was hungry, like, at 11:30, 12, and it's 12:30. I'm, like, hangry now. This should have been, like, you should have had pizza ordered at 11:30 to get here by noon so people could take a break while you guys went off gallivanting, to get your fucking
Please
internet.
tell me you told him he was gallivanting.
That's
No,
great.
I did
That's
not.
fantastic.
I did not. But this is
Aw.
what I was thinking. No, I still have yet to. My philosophy is to, whenever I confront someone about something that really pissed me off, that like something they did, I don't do it when I'm still angry.
yeah, right.
I try
You know
not
what the remedy
to do that.
is, though.
What?
Now, right? You have to move.
Yeah, I do. So I can do this to him. I will feed everyone else but him. He's not allowed to
Is
eat
there
anything.
food that he's allergic to?
And just spitefully downsize your home.
No. I just.
Yeah, no. My townhome was great, but this one-room shack out in the woods is just calling to me.
Yep. But no, the real beef I had with this was that he was asking our parents to help him move. And
What?
normally this normally wouldn't be the biggest deal, but like my parents are old now.
Yeah,
Like
no, dude.
this is fucking hard on his body. Like this is hard on my parents' bodies. Like they can't lift shit anymore.
Okay,
And
actually, not.
so
No.
they're in their late 60s.
Yeah,
now.
that's-
like they can't fucking be doing this.
Oh, like 3 months ago.
Just hire movers.
Anecdote about old parents, too. I was just gifted by hand-me-down a couple couches. Nice leather
Ooh,
lazy
nice,
boy
nice.
couches that my parents brought down. My dad's 40 years older than me. He is 74.
Yeah, that's too old. You should not be
And-
moving couches.
I was deathly afraid when we were moving the couch in. The love seat was fine. The couch had some issues, and I was frightened. But I still bought them fucking dinner.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay.
My mom didn't do
Wait,
shit,
wait.
but I bought them fucking
Okay,
dinner.
I need to get the story straight here, Sarah. So, your brother, who
Yep.
bought a house, bought
A
mortgage,
very nice
who
house.
bought a mortgage
Mm-hmm.
that the bank owns the house, but it's nice.
Yep, it's very nice. Very, very
Okay.
nice. Has 4 bedrooms.
What the? Okay,
That might be an
that's
understatement.
very nice.
That's very nice.
And then
Anyway.
got your.
And a pool.
Not only asked your family to move, which is fine because you have cousins and friends and
No. Just me and my mom and my dad and her mom and her dad.
What the fuck? Why?
Right?
No, this is unacceptable.
He didn't have any fucking friends.
No, you don't. No. This is
Yep.
wrong because
Yep.
the whole reason
Super
why
wrong.
you have friends is because you make them move shit. That's just what it is. Like that's
Or
just the.
you hire
Or
someone,
if you don't have
pay
friends,
them $300.
You pay friends that are only friends for
Or you pay
$300 for the
friends.
one time they move your shit. That's it. Like,
Whatever.
That's the whole point.
2 guys in a truck.
That's why everybody needs a friend with a pickup
Right.
truck.
Like
Yep.
Everybody
look,
needs a friend with a
I
pickup
have
truck.
a. I
Okay.
have. Okay, stop.
But this
guys,
isn't even the worst of it.
this is not
I
the
have-
worst of it. Like this
No,
is,
there's more to this story.
This can't
There's
get
more to this
worse.
This is
story.
going to be such a great Patreon episode.
Okay, so more to this story. So, all right. So he's had weeks to get ready, right? He's had weeks to get
was he
ready to move.
Packing as you were moving?
So, no, gets worse than that. It's worse than
You
that.
can't get worse than that.
packed for
You
him?
can't get worse than that.
I
You
show
packed
up.
for him.
I show up
God, no.
and I see my mother in the kitchen packing up their kitchen. They had not done anything in the kitchen. All of their clothes were still in their closets.
My
And I'm like,
God.
I was so mad.
Hey, sis,
Right
I know
off
I
the
asked
bat,
you to
I'm
move
like,
3 months ago.
This
but
shit should have been in
we had
boxes.
to keep our 37 plates in the... It looks so nice. We couldn't break it. All right, the feng shui would have thrown this whole part
I
off. And
was
Okay.
furious.
All right.
Like, you cannot,
Right.
you cannot expect me to show up on moving day and not all of your shit is
All right.
packed up. Like, I can understand, like, having a few towels and a week's worth of clothes.
Okay, is he a project manager? This is terribly managed. Like, okay, the first thing you would do...
No, and that's the funniest thing, is a project manager.
What the fuck? Like,
for her job.
Does she not use her fucking expertise?
I know!
What is going on here? This doesn't make... Okay, the only time I actually had to go on site to pack something was because my brother was, like, recently deployed, so he didn't have any chance at all, because he was trying to get his troops to go first. So by the time I got to Virginia, nothing was packed, but it was understandable, because he didn't have weeks of notice. He only had days. So...
Yeah, days. That's one thing.
So for your brother to fuck this up this badly, like, if he needed help... If he needed
so
help
mad.
getting stuff into boxes, then you have a boxing party.
Yep.
Then you just invite your friends over and you get lots of beer and pizza.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing. Like, look, I need help.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
Like, hey,
or you don't do that and you just fucking do it yourself over the week or two that you have, and then live out of a goddamn week bag thing, like a go bag, and you'll be fine.
Like, if you're just recently kind of, like, still remember college years, like, that's basically all you need is, like, a fucking laundry hamper full of shit. That's all. That's basic living.
That's how I still live now.
Mean, this is how I aspire to live. If I need to get all my shit in the Honda Civic, and they said, just get the fuck out, I have my guitar that I don't know how to play, and this laptop. That's it. I'm out. Passport and wallet.
I was just...
No clothes, no food, no dishes.
No, I have a towel.
You have ample room. You have ample room in your car, because it's just a guitar and a laptop.
Not even the charger. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but it doesn't matter, because that's how I roll.
At least have some fucking deodorant, please. Like,
no time. No time for that.
And a towel.
No, you buy that shit on the Target
Right, exactly. I mean, live off the land. No, this is... What the fuck is this guy's problem? Because, like, if you do need help packing, because some people do, right, then it's fine. You just invite your friends over for, like, 6 hours.
Yeah, if they had any fucking friends.
See, that's the problem.
Because if they had friends, they would have been there that day to help.
So then, that is the worst. You cannot...
I think we're getting a little off topic and personal here.
I'm sorry. I'm so angry.
Okay.
Still so angry.
Justifiably, because he didn't buy you fucking pizza.
No, but
I don't...
The basic...
No, you know what? And you know what happened? I went out and bought food for everyone.
Fuck yeah.
Why did you not buy food for him?
I did make him fork up cash to pay me back, but I was like, forget this.
That was an at-risk move, Sera. That was an at-risk move because he never made an agreement with him. So so there's a chance he could have been like...
that wasn't an en passant.
That's what it was.
That's what that was. You benefited by doing that over a shitty move by your brother /
But you didn't...
Yeah, I gotta choose the food.
But you didn't know if you were going to get paid back because there's an agreement that's not yet been made.
I mean, I would have gotten paid back. But maybe not by...
Right.
It might have been by my parents or his parents, but
that's why it was an en passant.
But
like, you're not expecting reciprocation taken upon for a month.
No, that's a boss move right there, just to be
well, I'm just like, if you're not fucking gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna pick the food, and you're gonna fucking fork up the money when we're done. I mean, even if you don't.
Okay,
but...
that's one of the biggest problems I have with this story is that he still has the mentality of being a college kid. Of like, okay, well, my parents are here, and, they usually take care of all the logistics of packing my shit up and paying for the food and managing all the drinks and beverages and whatnot. And then, off I go to my nice dwelling without any...
Oh, you want to know what's even worse? The worst of the whole thing. They set aside some beer for me because they did have beer. They said, we have beer and we'll have pizza for dinner, but I wasn't staying for fucking dinner. I had to go home. I'm not staying here from 9 until 9. Fuck being there for 12 hours. Gross. So they set out beer on the counter for hours.
It's not even cold beer.
Wasn't even cold. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you.
Did they still have to pack up their fridge?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just...
So there's no room for the beer in the fridge?
They could just put the beer outside. It was cold enough.
Yeah, I know. It was November.
What the fuck is wrong with this? Oh, God.
I was so mad.
Oh, man.
Do you understand? The rage?
When you...
Not only that, I cut my nails down for this kid. My nails are nubs now. I got
Aside
bruises.
To our listeners, Sera is very proud of her nails as they are perfect, and
they're
nail polish that she puts on them.
Very pretty.
It is my one hobby that I have left. All right, it's like the one hobby I have left that's artistic in nature that isn't something I make my living at that I can still enjoy.
Okay.
They're not funny.
Well, first of all,
So I cut down my nails. I got bruised. By the way, also listeners, I am part peach. I bruise very easily. So this isn't like the worst thing ever. But I had this massive bruise on my thigh from moving. And on my shoulder. I don't know how I got that one.
what was your brother thinking? Like, why would you...
He clearly wasn't.
Okay, I just don't understand. Maybe it's because I'm older and fatter, but the problem I have here is that, like, I'm not going to move shit. I'm going to pay people to move shit. And if I have to move shit, then it's going to be the editor and me moving all the shit. And that just sucks, but that's what we're going to do. We're not going to ask our elderly fucking parents to do it.
If I move ever again, I will never ask my parents to lift a goddamn thing. I will just hire movers. Forget it. I have plenty of friends, but I still wouldn't ask my friends because they're fucking old too and they don't want to move my shit. No, I'm just gonna hire 2 guys who want to get paid for their job. I'll just get it all done. I'll pack up all of my like small stuff myself, so it's all ready to go and boxed. All they have to do is come in, take the boxes, and throw it into their van.
You want to keep the cycle going of young kids making whatever buck they can and destroying their bodies at a young age.
Yes.
I approve.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely, 100%.
Fuck those kids. Fuck those 20-year-olds. Anyway.
No, that makes...
Isn't that the worst?
I think...
Do you understand my rage?
Yeah, I think the problem is that...
It's American entitlement, and we get back to capitalism.
damn it.
Problem.
Not only is it American entitlement, he's a fucking suburban white boy who's had...
He's a suburban princess.
Suburban princess who's had it fucking easy his whole goddamn life.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for making other people's life worse.
Agreed.
I don't
agree.
No, it is. What part of suburban princess don't you understand?
There's no right there. It's
What
just
were you
understandable.
before you realized you weren't a suburban princess, Phil?
I mean, I'm a suburban princess, Micah, but
No,
never.
you're clearly not.
But I am. I
No,
grew up
but
as
you're
one.
not because you know that simple fact that you feed the fucking movie.
Yeah, that's true. There was an age...
So you're not a suburban
There was
princess.
an age where I didn't know
You're
that.
like a
That's
suburban
true.
duchess.
I'm sorry, what?
You're a suburban duchess. You
A
understand
duchess.
the import.
Yeah.
You're still high
I have
and
a title,
mighty,
I
but
have
you
a title that
understand.
means something.
I think the problem
title.
for me is that I probably would have done the same thing your brother would have done had it not been for the editor to educate me.
You know what, though? That's the real key, is to find people who will tell you different. Like, who will take the time and say, like, hey, what you did there,
Asshole move.
not okay.
Right.
That was a shit move. In the future, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And like, the dumb thing is like, I know that's in his stupid head was thinking, well, yeah, I'm gonna feed them. I'm gonna buy them dinner. And I'm like, no, you buy them lunch because they're moving from fucking AM to PM. There's like a meal.
Yeah.
There's a meal in between there. You got to feed them
Also,
then.
not to
People are
fucking
going
get
home for dinner.
your parents involved. Like, that doesn't make sense.
I know. They live 4 hours away. Why are they coming 4 hours all the way down to help you pack up your shit?
No, absolutely makes no sense.
Pre-pack, like...
Did you deliver the boxes to their specific rooms, or did you just like leave it lumped in the garage?
I brought a couch and 2 beds upstairs.
Wow.
So...
But, I mean, no, the boxes themselves, not like
you mean like the boxes of books and shit? Like, not the furniture?
whatever miscellaneous. Yeah, because furniture goes to a room, but like the boxes
I brought all
and
the like
decorations
stuff, like
and
the
whatever.
kitchen stuff, into the
So
kitchen.
you brought the designated
and Mom
boxes.
put everything away
Wow.
into their kitchen for them.
What?
Yep.
Oh.
So that was a thing.
Okay, I think I'm starting to blame your brother less and realize that he's just the baby of the family.
He's a
Wait,
fucking
yeah,
child.
that's why.
Do
He is
you have a
baby.
spare key? Phil and I can go there and just start packing stuff up and move it out.
I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't even be that upset if said, hey, Sarah, do you have friends that could help me move? And I would be like, spending time away from my family to help some stranger that I don't know very well.
Well, see, and
move?
here's the thing.
Like, sign me
I
up.
would have been totally okay
Farm beer
with,
on
like,
it.
doing something like that if it wasn't for my parents coming down. That's another thing. During this whole fucking COVID thing,
Oh,
Like-
that does kind of make sense, though. Why
Like-
he, yeah.
like if it was just like us kids, and by kids I mean us 20 to 40-year-olds, like in that age bracket,
us
like
kids. Yeah, us
less
kids.
less risky. But my folks, my mom might be okay if she got COVID, but my dad would not be. I am afraid that
Yeah.
if he gets COVID, he will die. Like, I am legitimately afraid that that is something that could
Same for
happen.
my parents, too.
So I show up, I'm kitted out, right? Like, I got my mask on and I'm like Purelled up, I'm ready to go. And fucking no one else is wearing a mask. And I'm just like, Do you guys care at all? Are you? Am I the only one here who gives a fucking damn about anyone in this family? Clearly.
Oh, jeez.
I want to feed people and I want people to live. Is that so much to ask?
Says every progressive across the country.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so over the, thoughtlessness. Just the inability to anticipate the needs of others.
Selfish suburban princess.
Yeah, really.
It's screw you, I got my mentality.
Yep.
No, it's screw you, I got mine, but I expect you to do something for me.
For free.
I mean, at some point, I'm not, saying I have not made mistakes and done stupid things without knowing better in the past, but for fuck's sake, some of this is just obvious. Like, you don't want your parents to die? Wear a fucking mask. Or don't ask them to come help you move. Get some friends. Make friends, Sam.
That's the thing about it.
Have friends!
Is that when the editor and I moved from place to our other place, the editor did a lot of hard work and we did ask a lot of our friends for help. We stored...
I heard nothing. You guys never asked me.
No, that's not
thing,
true.
So just saying.
Yeah, why the hell didn't you ask me?
We stored our mattress in your area, like this weird thing.
Oh, that's
right?
true. We did.
So
you did.
What we did, Micah, was anyone that had spare room, we would just dump them in there.
And
we would just
I
drop
had their
shit,
mattress
just
for a
crap.
while.
And then for Sarah's garage, we just had shit in there. Not literal, but yes. And then for our other board game friends, we confiscated a quarter of their basement of just, I'm not kidding you, 35 totes. It's the shit you put Christmas stuff in, of stuff in their basement. We went to a place, he stored our furniture, and then we went to our friend from high school, and she has I swear to God, it's an airplane hangar in her place up in North. And it was it's basically this 2-car garage that is super tall. And we have the whole thing jam-packed of our crap. Yeah. And I'm and then we went to get all of our shit, all of our, not just tree-related crap, but anyway, we went and got all of it and we put it into mother-in-law's 2, I would say 20 by 20 rooms, basically. And just shoved it all in there. And then we were able to, the editor and I did this one by one, like little marching ants. Long story short, we had so much shit that I could not believe we unpacked that. It was like a zip file that just had more shit and more zip files in there. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
Why are you still unpacking? It was not that big.
I couldn't believe it.
You would be surprised at how much stuff you accumulate.
It is ridiculous. And now...
Oh, I'm not looking.
And we did that all without bothering too many people, right? Other than the 5-6 people we bothered. But under no
apart from the landowners.
Pretenses to be we were able to move most of the stuff where we can. All the specialized equipment we had to hire out because I'm not going to kill myself moving a piano.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest thing was we wanted to make sure that no elderly person was going to get hurt. And it just bothers me so much that the college mentality is well, I'm young, so therefore everyone I know is young. And they don't realize the mortality. They live in a fairyland world where everything will always be the same without realizing that your parents get older and eventually get so old that they'll die.
Well, it's the dumb thing is knows this. We've been making after dad videos. How to take care of the house, how to take out the, what steps to take out the dock and winterize and blah, blah, blah. Just all of the, how he does stuff, where he keeps everything, and how to unblock the septic system, blah, blah, blah. All of these things. He's making little videos. How to grease the frickin' mower. Basic maintenance stuff that he just takes care of and he's getting too old to do. So Sam and I are going to have to do that. This is in our head. We know this is coming. He knows this is coming. How dare he ask frickin' our parents to move his couches, his beds? Ugh, his desks.
I think you need to...
Oh, I was so mad.
I'm not kidding about this, but you should make a children's book about shit you should know. Because I learned most of my facts now from reading children's book to my kids.
Just give it to
did you know that
for
bees
Easter.
are male bees?
Here is Sam. Sam needs to move. Sam asked Dad. Should Sam ask Dad?
No, Dad's too
Sam
old.
should ask friends.
Okay.
Sam should ask friends and his sister and his cousins before he asks Dad.
You should pen it as his name and initials or whatever.
Yes.
But it should be a whole Sam is series. Sam should?
Sam is a fuck up.
Wait. Is Sam I Am copywritten under the Dr. Seuss title?
Because if it isn't, you
I
should
have
say
no
like
idea,
Sam.
probably.
If it isn't, then you can have a whole Sam
Right.
I Am series.
I don't need a
Sam I Am
It should
moving.
be like Sam or Sam is wrong series.
Sam I Am taking. I am
I
using the lawnmower.
I just like Sam is.
Sam is, and then
Sam is moving.
Yep, Sam is.
Sam is.
Fixing
and then
the
like
lawnmower.
what you
Yeah.
Sam is taking in the dock.
Yeah.
Minnesota standards.
Sam is throwing a party. Sam is, like just basic common
and then it's
sense
like,
stuff.
why can't Sam move?
Well, if you want to do the art, I'll do the stories.
No.
Phil can do the dialogue. We can be under one name.
Is this a new business?
it's also going to be coupled with our
No, it's a new grift.
furry expeditioner type of like activities, with IIO partnership under his same
Yep.
name. Anyway,
Isn't it obvious Sam is moving?
yeah, isn't and then be like, isn't it obvious that he should feed his crew? Isn't it obvious that he should
Yeah.
have friends? Isn't it obvious that he shouldn't ask his elderly parents? Isn't it obvious? And just fucking go through it page by page, and then that's what you need to do because some people don't get it.
Phil, you genius.
Genius. So brilliant.
Isn't it obvious kid series?
Isn't it obvious Sam is moving?
The things we step over, but Sam is always our
Yes.
main character.
And
Yeah.
he's always the foil of, isn't it obvious when you go to an airplane or airport?
He
you
does
should do these
everything
things?
wrong because he doesn't see how obvious it is.
No, but
Yeah.
like, they're just basic things. What would someone with common sense do here? Like, I don't know, but
I'm not kidding.
Well,
this might be a good
it
children's
is a good children's
I
series
don't-
because people don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do, and then it's going to be explained to the children's sense when they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just basic. life
Isn't it
lessons.
obvious you put your dishes in the sink or in the dishwasher?
Right.
Isn't it oh, genius.
Isn't it Sam?
Sam doesn't put it in the sink. Sam doesn't see it's
Right.
obvious.
Sam is messy.
Yes.
He
Mhm.
forgets to put his dishes away. Actually, though, my brother isn't like that messy. At least I don't.
No,
think he is.
it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
This spite
This
goes
is spite.
beyond.
This is gonna. Yep. It's just.
This one day of you filing down your nails and him being thoughtless leads to a career of children's stories.
Just out of career of spite
It
stories.
should just be like
children's spite stories.
things that.
Yeah,
look,
Dr. Seuss was all about one doctor who hit his knee wrong. His name isn't Dr. Seuss, and he doesn't have his doctorate.
He should because he's so brilliant. But it could be a whole series of what you wish people would do. I wish people would drive a normal human being and not like an asshole.
Sam is a good driver. He
No,
He uses his
Doesn't
turn
forget his
signal.
Sam is driving.
He goes
He
in the
always
slow
drives the
lane
speed
when
limit.
he's.
Sam is being
Sam
passed
is
by other
driving.
drivers.
is a terrible driver, and he forgets that he has a left hand that can hit
Yes.
his blinker.
Isn't it obvious that Sam should? And then every page explains what he should be fucking doing.
Sam is driving the speed limit. Sam is in the left lane. Isn't it obvious Sam should not be in
Yes.
the left lane?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so obvious.
And then, like, how roundabouts work. If Sam wants
Oh
to
my
go here,
God.
isn't it obvious that Sam should be here until there? Like, it's just, you gotta...
Sam sees a yield. Sam stops. Isn't it obvious Sam should slowly integrate into the roundabout?
Isn't it? Yeah.
It should be, what should Sam do? One is, like, complete stop at a yield, or one that actually, like, it writes itself.
All right. Before we give away too much information to our listeners, thanks, Mom, we should save this brainstorming activity for another episode of
Sam
Isn't
is.
It Obvious?
Anyway,
Or
thank you for
Sam
listening.
Isn't Obvious.
Thank you for listening to me vent. I know this has got a little personal here. Appreciate it though.
Hey,
Just-
this
I
is
needed to
episode
get it-
1, so it's fine.
I needed to get.
We're
it
really
out.
introducing the listeners to how personal we get on this podcast, and I feel they'll appreciate it.
I hope
Or
so.
if this is episode 60, whatever, you know the shit we do. All right, you're already in for the long haul.
Mm.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, bye,
right.
Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.